Alright, so we're going to go over the Dariush guard. I'm going to break it down like you're new to it, because sometimes when you explain the ultra basics, it's kind of unlatches something in your mind. Okay? So first thing, I'm going to grab the collar here, roll on the grip like this. I'm going to grab, or his sleeve. I'm going to grab this collar and then put my foot on the bicep. Now, addressing first this hand. The higher the grip, the better for you. When I'm a little bit lower in this mid-range spot, I don't have too much pull over his posture. When I go here, the pull is directly behind his neck and it's much easier to break him down more effectively. Second thing is the foot on the bicep. As a standard of practice, I want to keep my foot on the crook of the arm, not in the middle of the bicep, so slide right to the crook of the arm. Okay? Now, I never want to allow him to free his arm, so you can move around lightly, and just follow him wherever he goes. Make the connection right here. And you'll notice that my toes are going to be curled around his bicep. You want this to feel like two people or two hands are grabbing your arm. That's what you want to feel. And that's what people who are good at this guard feel like when they play it. And interestingly enough, when I make this grip with my right hand and I pull down essentially as hard as I can, I'm not pulling necessarily. I'm kind of making him carry my weight a little bit. Go ahead and resist a little bit. Good. I'm making him carry my weight. It makes it much more difficult for him to free his arm when his posture is down and towards me. Okay? So a drill, however mundane it may seem, would be to just pull down really hard here behind his ear, get a good nice tight grip, and have him move around and develop the coordination of this right here. Now, if he manages to free his arm, what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle my foot and put it right back there. So this could be just a game. You know, winner frees his arm and keeps it there for free for 3 seconds. Loser has to keep it. So here, go ahead, right here. I'm trying not to let him free his arm. Go ahead and try harder. Try harder. Keep it there. Just here. Constantly readjust the grip. Try that. Trust me, the development of the muscle memory there is going to really, really help you. Because every moment that you're in this guard is a moment to attack. And really, you only need a few moments. So if you're able to stay there for an extended period of time, it's more power to you. Now, come around on this side here. I ignored this foot for a reason when I was explaining that. And that's because what I do with this foot depends on the quality of my opponent. When my opponent is not good, I call these the level 1 techniques, he's going to allow me to put the foot on the hip. As the passer, he must never allow feet on the hip, doesn't matter if it's this guard or another guard, because it's too much control over the guy. Or he has too much control over you, and consequently, I have a lot of control over him. Mainly in the form of I dictate where he stands. So, if I'm allowed to put my foot on the hip, I'm going to extend my legs as far as they go, and pull as hard as I can here. Because you see how he took a step back? That's too much control for me. Now, I pull him in, bend, and we're going to shoot a triangle this time. So I managed to get the position, real high grip, and my opponent isn't that good, and he allows the foot on the hip. Now I extend, I bend, and this is what I actually try first. Is I start, as I bend, look how my knee is going behind his shoulder. So there's no submission, maybe, I don't know. But there is a submission similar to this, but not in this manner. I'm actually going to force his arm, hyperextending over my arm, and that causes him to freak out a little bit and twist his arm into the omoplata position. Then I raise my hips, kick out here, and then I back away for the omoplata. Put my foot on the ground, and I scoot out. And when I scoot out, I keep my back on the mat. A beginner mistake is to turn a little bit as you do it. You want your back on the mat the whole time. So you're just hipping out like this. Back on the mat. Okay. So here are those two. Here's a good little drill. We're going to do this. We're going to do 10 seconds of him trying to free his arm. As you get better with it, you can tell your opponent to go harder. Pulling down, foot on the hip. Okay, you're going to do 10 seconds. Blah. Keep my grips. And now extend, bend. I start to torque his arm. See how it folded over my own leg. Shoot up. Look at how far over my leg is that direction. Now I put my foot on the ground. This is where everybody turns. Keep your back on the mat. Keep your grips too. Keeps your options open. And then we're in the omoplata. And then you do it again, but this time you do it with the triangle. So I'm here, extend, bend. This arm doesn't want to go. He's resisting. Triangle. Okay? Those are the basics. You probably already know that. But we're going to get into some cool stuff too. So now level 2, where my opponent is a little bit better. I make my grips, and for whatever reason, maybe he's coming up real high with his knee like this, and you see how my knee is really towards my chest. I can't get this into the foot on the hip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down really aggressively. Come over here, right over there. I'm going to pull down and generate a resistance between the two of us. This is the most commonly used move. So I pull down, resist a lot. Don't let me break your posture. Good. And that resistance, you can see it's real tight on the gi here. It's very tight. That resistance is going to allow me to pull my hips off the ground and turn a little bit. Kind of like a spider, I guess. I'm using my foot anchored to his bicep. A good resistance here. If he's just like a limp noodle, like some training or some drilling partners are, it's not going to work. I pull myself up and I rotate my hips. Rotate my hips. Now the magic is going to be here. This whole position is about separating the elbow with knee. So notice right here, he has elbow with knee. It could be on the outside, it could be on the inside, but he cannot let anything go in there. That's his goal. So my goal is to split it. And when the foot went on the hip, look how easy it was. No elbow with knee. That's the magic of the position. That's how you need to conceive the position, is separating the elbow with the knee. Because every good move, not every, but most good moves come from the elbow and knee separation. So I pull myself up, get on my side, and it creates a good angle for me to chop in and rip with my arm, like this. Try not to knee your opponent in the face. It's very common. Now look, once I'm here, I'm going to climb up him even more. Stiff like a corpse with this leg. So real straight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this arm downwards, same as the foot on the bicep. But I want you to note how much I'm climbing. Posture back super far. Here, I need to climb it more. All the way there. Now, my foot, as I hip out, you probably won't fall yet. It's okay. My foot is past his head. If my foot is here, I probably didn't climb him up enough. Because it's going to come too loose and he might free himself. So it's really, really far in there, like this. Now, foot on the ground, hip out, and it's not till the end where my foot passes over into the omoplata position. Reset. So find the position here. I engage. I get on my side like this. Look, I climb it. You see? Climbing very far. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to bend this over with his arm downward. And I'm going to start to pull him down and hip out with my back flat on the ground. Keep your grips. It keeps your options open. Once I release this, I'm committing to the omoplata. But here, if he postures into me, it's easy to pull him in for the triangle, or just, we'll see, you lose it. It's easy, and you already have your grips for the guard again, and you can begin to attack. So, that's probably the main move you're going to use, and you may find it hard to get on your side. Look how my hips are off the ground. I just taught this all week last week in my academy, and people, I'm telling you, were like this. They just turn their hips a little bit. It's because this is real weak. So, look, climbing, and then start to fold over and do it. Now, let's talk about another core move of this position, and that's the use of the hook. When I'm here, let's give my opponent a little respect, because the foot on the hip, I have absolute control. Let's say he manages to free his arm. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He may be trying to step over my leg. Very common. At that point, any point really, where you feel uncomfortable, the leg lasso / hook needs to go in. At first, if you're just a little uncomfortable, it can be shallow. And if you get really uncomfortable, it'll be deep. More on that later. So, right here, he manages to free his arm. This is a good opponent. He frees his arm. Look, you see how I turned with the whole situation there? I'm using my knee on his knee to push a little bit and ride the momentum of him stepping over my leg. there was a lot of movement. See how much I turned? I have to turn my head over here to look at the camera now. But we started over here. Watch. Step over my leg now. Right here. I'm using my knee. That was my knee pushing it against this knee. I didn't even have to put my foot on the ground. And then in one fell swoop, you put the leg lasso in. So I don't pause there. I just pause to talk. Leg lasso. Now, if the opportunity presents itself, come here. You keep your grips, you return, and then you go back to the Dariush guard. If that opportunity presents itself. So we're here. Go. Oh man. He's freeing himself. I got the hook in. This time I went a little deeper, that's okay. Put it back and return. Now a really good drill, I think you should do 100, 200, 300 plus of these, is we're here. Go ahead. Freeze himself. I use the outside of my knee to turn my whole body. I put in my hook, foot on the bicep, and watch this. He'll most likely be lazy at this point with his elbow and knee connection. So I undo. Engage yourself. Good. I go to straight to the omoplata. That's the benefit of a shallow hook. There'll be people that tell you, oh man, shallow hooks are easier to remove, and they're absolutely right. But it's easier for you to remove too, real quick, and easier for him. So if he starts getting a little more crazy, my hook goes in deeper. Shallow hook for mobility, deeper hook for security. Okay? So, right here, one more time. Go ahead. Now, let's say I'm in the omoplata here. Another core move of this whole situation is the omoplata sweep. So once I'm here, conceive the omoplata as a sweep, not a submission. Conceive it as a sweep that maybe you could get a submission off of. So, one thing my opponent might try and do is somersault. If he somersaults, I just come on top with him and get the top position. Smarter opponents will try and jump over your whole body, jump over my whole body, and then maybe somehow it could go wrong for me, I lose the grip, and then he passes. He's inside control, good for him. So, you have to be prepared for the jump over. What I'm going to do, don't do it yet Alex, is I'm going to catch his near side leg, hug it in tight, extend my leg stiff, straight like a board, and roll like a log. Just roll like a log towards the camera. We're coming towards you over there. Okay, go ahead. I catch, hold it tight, extend my legs, and roll like a log. Try and control the legs so you don't get caught in some weird positions as you can with the omoplata sweep. They're just awkward, they're not dangerous for you. And then come here. Another thing you could try, let's say I still have my grips too, it's even better if I still have my grips, is we just got in the omoplata, you could try and posture into me, and I switch to the triangles. Happens all the time. Sometimes the hand gets caught in a little bit as you do it, and then you can go right back, and then we come back into the triangle. This is how I kind of do the triangle, especially when I'm at kind of this angle. I kick my leg straight, and then wrap it around. That's pretty basic right there, omoplata to triangle. I'll go from omoplata to triangle, but I'm very reserved about going from triangle to omoplata. Because remember, triangle's better, submission. Omoplata is a sweep with a maybe submission to it. Okay? So let's go back here. Now let's go against more skilled opponents than that. This movement where I'm hanging off and I chop in is not working. He's too strong. His base is good. His elbow connection with his knee is good. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's imagine for a moment he comes down to combat base. This is usually when you have trouble axing in because he's a little bit more compact in this position. You're trying to axe in your leg, it's no good. Okay? So what I'm going to do, keep it really firm, you have to simulate realism here. When I try and axe in, it's not working. So as I axe in, let's do the elbow knee right here. Grip my gi. Good. Good, this is good. Elbow on the inside perhaps is best for this move. I try and chop in, but it's not working. He's too strong. He's very low and compact. So as I chop in, I'm going to move my whole butt back. I'm using the back of my leg to move my butt this way, my whole body. Don't move him, move me. It's easier. So, I'm going to fill the space real quick. I chop in. It's not working. Chop in. I'm scooting back. I scoot back enough to find my heel on the inner part of his knee, like this. Inner part. Not straight on. Inner part. I kick out his knee, and then I triangle. One more time. I'm here. Kick, kick. I'm trying for the omoplata. Trying. I have enough space now because I moved my body back a couple of inches. I kick and triangle. Also omoplata, but triangle's a little easier from that one. Now, sometimes you have a hard time finding the inner part of his knee like this because his foot is kind of pointed into your butt like that. This is a good time to do this version. I'm going to hip out, insert shin to shin, hip in. Keep a good grip. I'm going to pull with my grips, extend my leg, and let my leg go up slowly. Flicks him on the ground. His knee goes on his ground, which is suicide from the open guard. I run both knees from the open guard. And then I go in for the triangle. So this one, these two can be worked interchangeably. Because if I'm here, I'm hipping out, I can't find it, I can hip out. Because the space is already there because I backed up. Flick and triangle. See how I lifted like an elevator? Lifted this one up. It doesn't work as well when my opponent has his foot pointed that way. Because it's an awkward lift from here. It's like weird. So I just find the foot on the knee in that case. So, if the foot is into you, do the shin to shin version and flick it up. If it's pointed away, that knee is a little bit easier to access. Both of the techniques need a little bit of space between you. So keep good grips, keep this right here on his bicep, and you'll be good to go. Now sometimes, from this position, I'm pulling really hard. Maybe I've been attacking, I'm pulling, and he starts to lean back with all of his weight. He's kind of, he doesn't want to be sucked in, so he's leaning back. What I'm going to do here, come on this side. It'll be hard to see even on this side. Well, I'm going to put in a deep De La Riva hook. If you can't put in your De La Riva hook, this is the wrong move, because he's leaning back and leaving a lot of space there. If he's compact, go to one of the other moves that I showed you. I'm going to put my foot on the ground. The only move really that I take the foot off the bicep intentionally. Put my foot on the ground, and I hip out and get up on my arm over here. I'm on my arm. Check it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch him with this arm, and this is going to fold underneath my body. Watch this leg. This is the trick. I grab here, I fold, and take him down. One more. So we're here, I'm pulling really hard. He leans backwards. De La Riva hook in, get up, and fold. His leg should end up straight. Now look at my arm position. Don't get arm drag. So very carefully get the underhook. You can go shin to shin, pass whatever, right off. A couple of more positions that you need in order to play this system. Come over on this side here. Do your best. Stand up again. And that's when he frees his arm, or you're insecure, he's going crazy, and I need the hook. Go ahead and free your arm and step over my leg. Continuing from this line now. Now your opponent, one thing, he might be controlling your leg very well and you can't put it back, and he gets on both of his knees. Get on both your knees. And we play this position. This is a common position when you're playing the Dariush guard. So, I'm going to kind of make space here and hip out, and I grab 4 fingers in, roll right there. That roll will generally be there if the guy's gi is well fitting and he's sitting in this position. Now I'm going to wait for him to be upright or leaning over too much this way. Maybe he's trying to collapse my leg. Who knows what he's trying to do. But we're moving around, we're sparring, he's going to be caught. The key here is timing. This sweep, and all the stuff that I'm really showing, works from white to black. This sweep in particular, the best guys have been caught with this sweep because it's just a matter of timing. I'm going to flare open my leg, and once his leg becomes light, I'm going to start using my arm, and then on the way over, I remove my leg. I keep this grip with my arm so I can punch it. Careful about the bicep slicer, and get on top. So we're here, he stepped over my leg. I'm in this position, I'm kind of hipped out, pushed his leg out a little bit, and then I flare open really hard, suck this grip in really tight. Hit him, punch, remove, and get on top. So here's a drill. We start in the Dariush guard. I'm attacking, it's not good, it's not good. He frees himself, go. hook it, he comes down, I hip out, make the space, I'm waiting, I'm playing, and I hit him. Remove, and get on top. Next situation, the same sweep really, slightly different grip. He steps over my leg, but this time he clears the whole situation, he clears my half guard. And he starts to come in, that's a mistake, white belt mistake. You won't do this as much. We get some more experienced guys. So I underhook his whole leg this time, and as he gives me the energy to come in, I take him over this way. Careful of the inverted triangle right here. So I remove, careful of the bicep slicer on your training partner. So here's the situation, Dariush guard. I'm attacking, it's not working. Watch the inverted triangle here. I don't want this. So release it, before I can do it. If it gets stuck in there, hold it tight and keep it with your head. So go for the inverted triangle, go. And then once I sense that I'm okay, I'll rip out my arm. Now, the cool one, here, go ahead and free over. Good. I want to get my hook in. He clears. This guy's heavy. He's a big boy. I can't take him over. He's too strong. Maybe he's got the pressure in already. Try anyway. I'm going to hit this way. Doesn't work. Try and use the leg to your maximum potential. I'm going to take this arm out, and I'm going to put it on his hip. This leg goes on the ground, and I begin to hip out. Hip out. Hip out. I duck my head under his arm. That's going to be hard. Duck your head under his arm. Get on your knees. Nothing more than getting on your knees. And I'm looking in towards him. I suck in the arm real deep, and I do a forward roll with my arm. It's easy, but it's disorienting if you haven't done it before. It's not difficult. And then we can go to an omoplata sweep. Go. Jump over my body. Okay. One big circle. Just as you think you're as far from the technique as you can, it's hard. It circles back. Okay, go ahead, step over. Right here. He passes the whole thing. No good. I hit him hard, and look, I'm keeping my pressure to my left. I remove, and then I go here. Come in tight. Don't let me turtle. I hit him again, and then I turtle again. One more. Jackson's gonna allow me one more. So I'm in the omoplata sweep 2.0. He jumps over my body. I missed it. Take a look over here. With this hand, I get the arm here. I go under and I catch it like Eddie Bravo, old school. I have too much control over him. He's going for a ride. You just gotta find it. I can't go this way anymore. It doesn't work. So look at this control I have over his arm. Extend your leg and do a sit-up, and then go slightly to your left. Look. Slightly to my left. Omoplata sweep 2.0. So, weave all these moves together in various combinations and just drill hundreds of them. Anyways, thanks. I hope you enjoy.